in an intimate relationship is a challenge, and it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do other scientists say about some of your theories? Do they agree with you? They fight with you? What do they say?
Well, certainly earlier on, some 15 years ago, there was a lot of resistance. It was very difficult, and I walked out of a physics conference, in some cases very disappointed and, in tears. There's been a lot of challenges. It's been very difficult as well because I'm an independent. I'm not part of any large institution or anything like that. And so it has, getting published and all this has been challenging as well. But it's slowly changing, and that's what I'm amazed how fast it actually is changing in the last few years. And there's an openness that's occurring and a transformation that's occurring in the physics world that's really encouraging. But yeah, there's been plenty of challenges, and less and less now that I've written more and more papers, and I've flushed out many of the math and the physics necessary. I've got much more positive response and actually a lot of excitement. And my last paper winning this award, the Best Paper Award in this conference I just went to, and it all is coming together, and it's changing very beautifully at this point. However, earlier on it was very difficult and painful. Because it takes time for things to change. It takes time for people to accept new ideas, and it's understandable. I mean, people have worked on their theory for, in some cases, 40 years, and they're not just going to, change their ideas overnight. As well, in very advanced physics and unified theory and all this, generally the people involved are physicists that are very well seasoned. They've been there for a long time. They're typically in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and so on. So, I was 30-some years old coming in saying I had a unified field theory and all this. And so, they were wondering why is the busboy, showing up at physics conference,
Einstein was almost the same, wasn't he? He started all this at a young age.
He did. He started all this at a young age. Like me, had difficulties at school. Like me, he was an independent when he was a third-class clerk at the patent office.
That's right.
And, a lot of people, had difficulties with all of that when he first published and all this. And it took him a long time to get recognized. So, but the thing is that typically, in many cases in history, new ideas that were found to have some validity and some potential came from independent thinkers.
All right, let's go to final calls now. We'll go to David, first-time caller in Santa Ana, California. Hey, David, go ahead.
Hi, George. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you. Mr. Haramein, I was curious about, you tied some of the work you did to ancient civilizations and ancient religions and the idea of the singularity, but also I'm noticing what you're talking about can be connected to very current modern mainstream ideas, like take the book The Power Now, for example. In that book, they're describing to us that from any current moment, we have in front of us infinite possibilities of new moments. And so this is almost identical to what you described. And I'm curious if you have any ideas about, is this by accident or are we arrived at the conclusion from different directions?
Yeah, actually, very good observation there. If this is really the way the universe works, we should be able to find it in our in our ancient culture, in our modern culture, in our philosophy, in the philosophies of our best thinkers around the world, and that's what you're actually describing. Yeah, absolutely. This is why we're starting to find it in many, many different publications around the world, this concept of this infinite potential and so on. And what I've done basically is I've expressed that in a way that it's described mathematically and in the physics and the mechanics of it. Just like I said earlier, like my equation shows that that the vacuum seems to entangle all protons, meaning that all protons are connected through this structure of the vacuum, which makes it all one. And all of a sudden, the meaning of it's all one or we're all one has a foundation in the physics and the mechanics of it, so that these concepts are philosophical concepts are all of a sudden given a physical meaning and how it's really happening. What is, why are we all one, and why do we have infinite possibilities in each moment, and so on, and that kind of completes the picture, and as well opens up the field of engineering and technology that can align to these fundamental philosophical understanding and actually apply them, because now we understand the mechanics of it.
Okay, next up we go to Bellevue, Illinois on the wild card line. Jim, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I just have two questions. I have the first question is, do you think that there is a possibility there is another form of gravity that is responsible for dark matter? And do you also think that it's possible there is a coact or subdimensional coact that is causing this possible equation? I'll take my answer off the air.
Thank you. Those are really good. All these questions.
They're like physicists all by themselves, aren't they?
Yes, very good. You can see that there's more and more really good thinkers out there. I think that I don't think there's another form of gravity. I just think that we haven't completely understood gravity. And most physicists will admit to that. We don't quite know what gravity is. I mean, Einstein said it was the curvature of space-time, but that doesn't quite tell us everything. And, the dark matter issue, as far as gravity goes, I think that when we start to understand, I'll make it really simple. When we start to understand that a galaxy is a function of the space, meaning imagine that the galaxy is actually a pattern in the space. Take all the stars out, the pattern would be there, and the black hole in the middle would be there, which I predicted from my theory there was going to be a black hole at the center of all galaxies long before they found it, that there was. But imagine that this pattern is occurring, and it's just like in your tub when you pull the plug, it makes that swirling pattern. Well, if you have a rubber ducky in your tub, the rubber ducky would start swirling. Well, when there's enough when there's enough dust, when there's enough material around that pattern in the space, then all of a sudden the galaxy becomes apparent, but that the pattern of the galaxy is actually in the space. When we start to understand that, it's the Coriolis effect of the structure of space and time that produces this effect. The dark matter issue disappears, and the dark energy issue, and so on. So I think that's the answer there.
Okay, next up we go to Los Angeles, California. Andrew, always a pleasure. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yes, George, you're a great patriot, and we really appreciate you very much here. The question is this. First of all, your guest, what he's saying, he's brilliant, and what he's saying is resonating with me. And many years ago, real quickly, I spoke to Dr. J. Allen Hynek, and I asked him what the chances are of there not being life on other planets. And his answer was quite simply impossible. My question to you, sir, is, in your opinion, if we unlock the secrets of matter and the secrets of the universe and what some people call infinity, this infinite power in the universe, which man seems to want to unravel and maybe tap into. Do you think that we will be able to handle the new world that is coming if we do, in fact, unlock those secrets? And how far off are we from unraveling those secrets? Also, what do you think of the crop circles? What are they trying? What's the origin, and what are they trying to say? And thank you.
Well, those are good questions. I think that if we don't unravel these secrets, we're probably not going to make it. We're reaching the capacity of our planet to sustain us